making headlines. The president emphasizes the significance of the historical monuments left by ancestors, noting they bear witness to Maldives' rich history. The president abolishes the Maldives Land and Survey Authority, previously under the Housing Ministry. And the president designates the HPSN to operate under the Ministry of Health.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Hello and welcome to PSMNEWS in English with me, Utma Mahmoud. President Dr. PSMNEWS emphasizes the significance of the historical monuments left by the ancestors, noting they bear witness to the Maldives' rich and proud history. The president shared his reflections on social media in honor of the first ever National Heritage Day, underscoring the nation's enduring legacy as a testament to its independence. Vice President Hussein Mohammad Latif also extended his felicitations on social media. This marks the inaugural celebration of National Heritage Day in the Maldives, following the Cabinet's decision in November 2023. The day, observed on September 12, commemorates the enactment of the Cultural Heritage Act. The theme for this year loosely translates to preserving heritage, rekindling the fire of hope, reflecting the importance of safeguarding the nation's cultural legacy. President Dr. PSMNEWS abolishes the Maldives Land and Survey Authority, previously under the Ministry of Housing, Land and Urban Development.
The decision made under the powers vested in the President by Article 116A of the Constitution was announced in a directive issued by the President's Office. The President's Office clarified that the functions of the Maldives Land and Survey Authority will now be transferred to the Housing Ministry. This move aims to establish a more robust and financially sustainable mechanism to handle the tasks formerly managed by the authority, which was initially created to conduct research on the Maldives' land and sea resources. While abolishing the authority, President Dr. PSMNEWS has also recently ratified the Urban Planning and Management Act, which mandates infrastructure planning to sustainably develop land and maximize its economic and social benefits. Several agencies are responsible for drafting, passing and implementing plans, as well as issuing land development permits under the new framework. As such, Ministry of Housing, Land and Urban Development, city councils, island councils and agencies have been tasked with developing urban areas. Agencies tasked with developing industrial areas and agencies tasked with developing special economic zones can undertake the tasks. Land scarcity remains a significant challenge in national development. President Dr. PSMNEWS has pledged to improve urban planning and management efforts to ensure that land resources are utilized efficiently to maximize economic benefits.
President Dr. PSMNEWS designates the Home for People with Special Needs, HPSN, to operate under the Ministry of Health. The announcement was made in a directive issued by the President's Office. The President made the decision under powers vested in him by Article 1160A of the Constitution of the Maldives in a directive issued by the President's Office. President Dr. PSMNEWS stated that the decision was made upon the recommendation of the Cabinet to transfer the responsibility of operating and maintaining the HPSN, which was operated under the Ministry of Social and Family Development, to the Health Ministry. The aim of this move is to transition the facility from a permanent residence into a treatment and rehabilitation center. The HPSN was established on June 6, 1976. The center currently houses 219 individuals, 31 of whom are over the age of 65. Minister of Education Dr. Ismail Shafir reaffirms the government's commitment to fostering an intellectual and educational society, a key goal of President Dr. PSMNEWS' administration.
Speaking at the Top Achievers Award 2023 to 2024 ceremony, Minister Dr. Shafiu highlighted ongoing efforts to elevate the nation's education sector in line with the President's pledge. As part of this initiative, the government has secured 3 grants totaling $9.5 million from the Global Partnership for Education (GPE). These funds will be directed towards strengthening schools, developing skilled professionals to manage the sector, enhancing educational planning and financing, and training potential teachers. The government also plans to introduce a new education management information system to guide policy formulation and improve educational outcomes. Minister Dr. Shafiu stressed the importance of intensifying efforts to meet the project's primary objectives, particularly in raising academic standards. He voiced concern over the significant decline in the pass rates for grade 3 students in Divihi language exams, which has dropped by more than 40%. The minister emphasized the need to improve pass rates in the primary grades, as this will have a direct impact on student performance in O-level and A-level examinations. He further emphasized that providing quality education is essential for accelerating national development and called for collective action to achieve these educational goals.
Minister of Education Dr. Ismail Shafir announces plans to launch a special program to train local teachers next month. During his address at the Top Achievers 2023-2024 ceremony, Mr. Dr. Shafir disclosed the Social Council had granted approval for the training initiative the previous week. The minister expressed optimism about the program's inauguration in October, emphasizing that a significant challenge within the educational sector is the shortage of high-quality teachers. He revealed a need for over 2,400 educators, including 250 for primary education. Additionally, Mr. Dr. Shafiu underscored the ongoing efforts to enhance the skills of current teachers, recognizing their essential role in society. The minister assured the government will focus on the mental health and well-being of teachers and encouraged students who have completed their A-level examinations to consider a career in teaching. He affirmed that teaching remains one of the most respected and cherished professions. The Ministry of Finance announces that President Dr. Mohamed Muiz's decision to regulate medicine prices will help elevate budgetary pressures. The President revealed that he has instructed relevant authorities to implement stringent measures to prevent excessive profits in the sale of medicines.
Although the details of these measures are yet to be disclosed, the President pointed out that some medical drugs are currently sold at profits ranging between 200% and 2,000%. He emphasized that these reforms will help reduce Asanda's expenditure on medicines, which constitutes a large portion of the healthcare budget. In an interview with PSMNEWS, Deputy Minister of Finance Ahmad Saeed stated that this initiative will significantly reduce government spending. He highlighted that out of the $149.7 million allocated to Asanda, $104 million was spent solely on medicines. President Muiz's decision has been well received by the public, with many expressing their support for making medicines more affordable. The public has voiced that this is a much-needed change they have long anticipated.
The Ministry of Finance announces the technical groundwork needed to improve the financial situation of the Maldives has been completed, with necessary measures ready for implementation.
This statement follows Modi's recent downgrade of the country's credit rating from CAA1 to CAA2, driven by concerns over foreign exchange shortages, rising commodity prices, fiscal challenges, and delays in financial reforms. In response to Modi's report, the ministry assured that efforts to stabilize the nation's finances are underway with support from international financial institutions. The ministry emphasized that the government's financial reform initiatives prioritize poverty eradication and the improvement of living standards. As part of these reforms, measures are being taken to strengthen state-owned enterprises, SOEs, to reduce their financial burden on the state. Additionally, the ministry outlined its strategy, which includes securing financial assistance from allied nations and international organizations while maintaining positive relationships with investors. The ministry also highlighted the critical role of the tourism sector in boosting the economy and improving the country's financial outlook. The government expressed confidence that a combination of fiscal responsibility and economic growth will ease debt repayment pressures.
Ministry of Islamic Affairs announces a total of $3,287,937 has been issued to the ministry for its projects. The ministry reported 25 projects are currently underway across different regions of the country. These projects include the development of 21 mosques, 2 Islamic centers, 1 Quran center, and 1 mosque as part of a settlement agreement. The ministry noted some projects are progressing rapidly, while it is actively working to expedite the completion of others in collaboration with the respective contractors. Efforts are also being made to develop Waqf facilities. Darul Salam and Darul Arqam. Darul Salam is planned for development in Hulumale, whereas Darul Arqam will be established in Mala City. The ministry further disclosed that the design for Darul Salam has been finalized and opportunities have been opened for contractors to submit proposals under contractor finance policy. Meanwhile, work is ongoing to finalize the concept and detailed plans for Darul Arqam. The Housing Development Corporation HDC announces the sale of 16 residential land plots in Hulumale Phase 2, with bidding opportunities now open. The available plots are located in the beachfront and beachside areas of the development. HDC revealed that the beachfront plots range in size from 1,095.98 to 3,252 square feet, with bidding processes starting at $291.8 per square foot. Beachside plots ranging from 1,440.80 to 3,380 square feet will have starting bids set at $259.4 per square foot. Further details on the plots are available through HDC's online bid portal. The land sale process will occur in 2 phases. First, interested parties must submit an expression of interest, EOI. If multiple EOIs are submitted for the same plot, a bidding process will be held. HDC also noted that individuals can submit EOIs for multiple plots. HDC emphasized that the land plots are available exclusively to Maldivians. All citizens over the age of 18 are eligible to submit an EOI. For company submissions, the company must be registered in the Maldives with 100% local ownership. Last year, HDC successfully sold 17 land plots after the first bidding round and 13 plots during the second. The Maldives Inland Revenue Authority, MIRA, reports state revenue for August reached nearly $130 million, marking a 34.5% increase of the projected revenue for the month.
According to the latest data released by MIRA, a total of $128 million was collected in August, with $62.82 million received in US dollars. This represents a 24% increase compared to the same period last year and a significant 34.5% rise over the previous month's revenue estimates. A large portion of this revenue growth came from taxes on goods and public services, with the goods and services tax (GST) accounting for 53.3% of the total, contributing $69 million. Income tax was the second largest contributor, generating $31 million, or 23.9% of the total revenue. Notable increases were also observed in non-individual taxes, corporate income tax, green tax and GST compared to August of the previous year. MIRA attributed the revenue boost in August to several factors, including the collection of capital gains withholding tax, GST payments from non-individuals and businesses after the deadline, and delayed resort rental payments. Additionally, a 15% increase in tourist arrivals in July compared to the previous year further bolstered tourism-related revenue.
With inflation slowing and the economic outlook darkening, the European Central Bank (ECB) is expected to cut interest rates again, but is unlikely to give much away about its next moves.
after raising rates at a record pace from mid-2022 to tackle surging consumer prices, the ECB has begun to ease the pressure as inflation rates have fallen. The Frankfurt-based central bank made its first cut in June, reducing the key deposit rate to 3.7% from a record high of 4%. The ECB's Governing Council kept borrowing costs on hold in July but is expected to make another quarter-point cut on Thursday, providing further relief to businesses and households. It will be only the second rate reduction since 2019 from the ECB, which sets monetary policy for the 20 countries that use the euro. Policymakers' confidence in moving ahead with cuts has been bolstered by signs that inflation, which has been bumpy over the past year, is now on a more sustained downward trajectory. According to official data, Eurozone inflation fell to its lowest level in more than 3 years in August. Consumer price rises slowed to 2.2% compared to the same month last year, down from 2.6% in July, leaving the figure just a whisker off the ECB's target. Inflation rates had peaked at 10.6% in October 2022 after Russia's invasion of Ukraine and post-pandemic supply chain woes sent food and energy costs soaring. A lackluster performance in some parts of the Eurozone has also fueled calls for more cuts to take pressure off the single currency area. While signs in the first half of the year were positive, recent indicators have pointed to a deteriorating outlook. The Eurozone's largest economy, Germany, shrank unexpectedly in the second quarter, adding to indications that a hope for rebound will fail to materialize this year.
Israel bombs a school housing displaced Palestinians in central Gaza, which rescuers said killed 18 people, including UN staffers, while the Israeli army said it hit a Hamas-controlled center.
The Al-Jawni school in Nusayrat has already been bombed several times over the course of the 11-month war in Gaza. The latest strike on Wednesday flattened part of the UN-run facility where Gazans had sought shelter, leaving only a charred heap of rebar and concrete. Gaza civil defense spokesperson Mahmoud Bassal posted on Telegram referring to the UN Agency for Palestinian Refugees that for the first time, Israeli forces bombed the UNRWA-run Al-Jawni school, killing 18 citizens, including 2 UNRWA staff members, children and women, and injuring more than 18 others. UNRWA later said 6 of its staffers had been killed in 2 Israeli air raids on the Nusayrat school and its surroundings, calling it the highest death toll among its team in a single incident. The UN agency posted on social media that among those killed was the manager of the UNRWA shelter and other team members providing assistance to displaced people. Across the besieged strip, many school buildings have been repurposed to shelter displaced families as the vast majority of Gaza's 2.4 million people have been repeatedly uprooted by the war. Israeli forces have struck several such schools in recent months, saying Palestinian militants were operating there and hiding among displaced civilians, charges denied by Hamas. The Israeli military said in a statement that it had conducted a precise strike on a Hamas command and control center within the Al-Jawni compound. It did not elaborate on the outcome, but said numerous steps were taken to reduce the risk to civilians. Gaza has repeatedly been called the world's deadliest place for humanitarian workers, with aid organizations repeatedly faulting the deconfliction process, the coordination of movements with military parties.
That's it for now. Thank you for watching. Help us another ahead. Bye-bye.
मी जमान तक वंदन हल्लु